When I was in grad school, I worked as a tutor for undergrad students where I met my boyfriend who's 5 years younger than me. We had an amazing relationship. However, my parents are a little on the conservative side, and as soon as my mom learned about the age difference and his various tattoos, she was livid. They gave me an ultimatum. I would have to break up with my boyfriend or they would kick me out and stop paying for my education. My boyfriend told me it was okay and that my education was more important. He said we could always get back together after I had my degree, and despite hating it, I agreed with him. We broke up but kept in touch over the next year. He graduated and moved to a city a few hours away where my sister was going to school. 2 years after our breakup, my sister told me she'd been seeing someone for 7 months and sent me a picture. I could not believe my eyes. It was my ex-boyfriend. I texted him asking if it was true and I got no reply. I called my mother who told me it wasn't a big deal and that they're letting her have her rebellious phase. I avoided my family and threw myself into work thinking this would help me forget. I found out they got engaged through our mother and later received a wedding invitation. The wedding is less than a month away and I'm clearly not over him. I tear up at the thought of watching him say I do to my younger sister. I don't know what the right answer is. Do I smile and stick it out because it's my sister? Or prioritize my mental health? My boyfriend is really into cars. Recently discovered a charity project where they fixed up an old Jaguar and it's worth around $300,000. You could buy a $50 raffle ticket to win the car and the money went towards a good cause. My boyfriend is broke at the moment, so I offered to go halves with the ticket. He didn't want to because then the car wouldn't be his completely. I wasn't too worried about it and didn't mention it again. I did, however, buy a ticket for myself. Well, I won, and on the 1st of next month, I will be the owner of the car. My boyfriend found out he was really excited until I told him I was going to sell the car and put half of the money in my savings and invest the other half. He said I can't sell our car without consulting him. I told him it's my car and I can do whatever I want. He now claims it was all a big misunderstanding and apparently wanted to go halves but hasn't got around to giving me the money yet. I call BS on it, but he keeps saying that we're a couple and we should make this decision together. I still am planning on going ahead and selling the car and keeping the money to myself. I do see a future with him, but it was my money and my ticket. Am I the asshole for not wanting to go 50-50 and keeping the money all towards myself?
So I saw this comment about the black actually being gray. And this is the bag. It's from Waxness. And it's actually steel. At the time when I was ordering, this is the closest thing they had to black. So
your dreams, baby, get you with me. It's time to boss up. Get your credit, girl, get at it, get your bag up. Get that gym and get back fine. Go get that degree, go girl, focus on me. Unlock potential that you didn't know you had in you. Okay, nigga, hey. Oh yeah, it's time to
is an ongoing mess that continues to haunt me. My sister is recently engaged to her boyfriend of many years. He proposed to her at one of our family barbecues, and I was really happy for them until I saw the ring. My sister had hinted that her and her boyfriend were discussing tying the knot, and we discussed rings at length. I went online and searched for the type of ring she said she was interested in and happened across a very unique and pretty ring on Etsy, but it had a fake middle stone. As soon as I saw the ring, I recognized it. Everyone knows they're supposed to spend at least 3 to 4 months pay on an engagement ring. He has a good paying job, and 4 months wages for him would be at least 8 to 10K at an estimate. I know for a fact that this ring was $450. I waited until the proposal was over and asked the couple for a quiet word, but that had the opposite effect as I was overheard by the entire family. I told my sister I had seen her ring online and it wasn't a real diamond or even expensive. I accused her boyfriend of trying to cheap out of one of the most important gifts of her entire life. She burst into tears and said she gave him a budget of $400. She didn't want a real diamond. She's lost every piece of jewelry she's owned, and she didn't want to be devastated by losing this if she ever does. Thought I was doing my sisterly duty by pointing out the fake ring. Am I the asshole for telling my sister?
Did you know that if you hit the share button and you just hit copy link and you don't have to like put the link anywhere, it'll boost the analytics for someone's posts and then they will be all over the For You page?
Tell me why, like, 50 people see a video within, like, 10 minutes and one person likes it. You could be famous already, but no, because it literally, like, if you're watching this on the For You page and you don't like it, then frick you.
So when I was younger, the girls in my school liked guys who play sports. And well, I was the music kid, so I didn't get that much attention. So I went to my oldest brother for a little advice. Yo, bro, you gotta be straight up with these girls. So I tried the straight up approach. Yo, straight up, I like you. Give me your number, girl. She gave me her number. Wait, there's only 6 numbers here. Dang. Sometimes you gotta act like you don't care. Girls want what they can't have. So I tried the I don't care approach.
Hey, Desmond.
Yo, girl, I don't care about all that. I only care about your number. Is you gonna give it to me?
Boy, bye.
Alright, sometimes girls like when you're desperate. Try that. Look, girl, I love you. I loved you from the moment I saw you. So please, please give me your number, girl. I'm begging you out here. Look at me, girl. I love you. I love you.
Ew.
Yo, bro, I don't know what you're doing wrong. Just try.
Time. Follow my step.
Add a little bit of spice.
My husband and I were expecting our first daughter, and he suggested the name Tiffany, and I fell in love. When I asked what made him pick it, he said he saw it in a movie. I didn't think much of it, and so a couple weeks later, I called my sister-in-law to let her know we're going to name our daughter Tiffany. She was super surprised because she said she never wanted to name her child after her husband's high school girlfriend. I was really confused, but then she told me that they were together from sophomore year of high school to junior year of college. I knew he had a long-term relationship, but I never knew the girl's name. After hanging up, I confronted my husband, and he tried blowing it off at first, but eventually admitted that it was true. I told him I'm refusing to name my daughter after his ex-girlfriend, and he told me it's too late, I'm overreacting, and I can't change my mind since I'm only due in 5 more weeks. I basically cried to get as much information as I can when he finally told me that she had contacted him because she was getting married and was having second thoughts. My husband admitted that talking to her made him realize he never stopped having feelings for her, but he loved me too. The reason he suggested the name was because he knew he couldn't leave me to be with her, so he wanted something to honor her with. What do I do?
My buddy picks up his phone and calls his dad. His dad answers and he says, "Dad, we're in a bit of a pickle." So his dad's just like, "I'll be there in 10 minutes. Do what I told you to do." So pretty much he just wrote us this route we had to go if we had to run. When you look at this kid's house from a hole, there's the main driveway that leads up to the garage. And then on the side of that driveway, there's a gravel driveway that's like surrounded by trees. So he has 2 driveways. So we're in the woods right now. We navigate, dude. We do all these fucking maneuvers and we had to go through a bunch of thorn bushes. I'm getting scraped up. Now, something I didn't mention before. I had a backpack on with some herb in it. About 3.5 grams. So yeah, I was like shitting my pants. So we're going this route his dad told us to go, and eventually we hit the gravel driveway. We see his dad parked in his SUV right at the end of the driveway waiting for us to just get in the car. The only problem was on the main driveway, there had to have been at least 8 cop cars. We looked to our
This is why you should never let your Uber driver cancel your ride while you're still in the car. I went dancing with some friends one night and got really drunk by midnight. My phone was dead and I was so drunk that I barely remember my friend calling me an Uber. I can vaguely remember them helping me in the car and telling me to get home safe. That's when he asked me how my night was and if I smoked. At this point, I sort of just slurred out that I did sometimes. He then offered me a J, and this is when I started to get nervous and started paying attention. I tell him something like I'm really tired and just ready to go home. He keeps insisting, and once again I say something not exactly like no, but not a yes, which he takes as a yes. I'm so drunk I can barely see straight or speak clearly. That's when he says, "Okay, I have to cancel the ride really quick because I can't give it to you while I'm on the clock." It takes me a second to realize how dangerous that is, and by the time I start to say something, he's canceled the ride and pulled over in the middle of nowhere. At this point, I'm panicking, I'm taking fake hits, and I'm thinking to myself how I can get out of this situation. After it's done, I tell him I can always call another Uber and he doesn't have to take me home. But he says he still has my address and he'll take me. As he starts driving, I tell myself to calm down and that I'm being paranoid. But that's when I realize he's going farther north and passing every exit that could get me back to my apartment.
When I was 27, my boyfriend proposed to me. We both have stable jobs and decided to plan the wedding immediately. Around the same time, my brother proposed to his 24-year-old girlfriend and they started planning for the wedding as well. One day, my future sister-in-law called me to see if we can go over wedding planning. That's when she told me if I could get married in the afternoon and that she could get married an hour or two later and then we share the reception. She said it'd become a great way for us to become sisters and that this will mean the world to my brother. In reality, I know that they aren't financially well off and she wants the fancy wedding without the fancy wedding price tag. I didn't really know what to say, but I told her that's mine and my fiance's wedding. We planned it for us and we want it to be about us. She exploded in anger and said I wouldn't understand how hurtful it is to see the amazing wedding that I'm planning and know that she couldn't have something like that. I told her I waited to get married so that I could afford the wedding I wanted. And she said she wants to get married before she's old and dried up like some people. She called me heartless and a selfish bitch. I stormed off and my brother called me a few days later. He asked if I could please reconsider. I told him I didn't want to share my wedding day and I wasn't sure if I even wanted his fiancé there.